Have you ever been on a roller coaster with a 7-year-old? A 7-year-old who doesn't let the roller coasters faze her, who even thinks the highest roller coaster is boring. Well, I have news for you. I know a 7-year-old who isn't afraid of anything, and this 7-year-old is my little sister Addie. Like all good families, my family and I went to Kings Island last summer. My family consists of my mom, my dad, Haley, Macy, and Addie. Haley's 12, Macy's 10, and Addie is 7. When we went to Kings Island, my family was prepared to set out on a lot of rides because kids are afraid of a lot of things. So as we entered this amusement park, the first ride we came across was the Drop Tower. And for any of you guys that don't know what the Drop Tower is, it is this huge ride. It takes you up all the way in the air and it drops you down instantly. And this ride goes up 265 feet and drops you. I mean, if you're afraid of heights, this ride is not made for you. It's especially not made for me. I am terrified of heights. So, of course, my dad, being the courageous person he is, wants to ride it, and he wants all of us to go on there. And me, being the chicken I am, volunteered to sit out with anyone who didn't want to get on there. So I thought my little sisters would stay with me, but no, they went on. And I was like, wow, they're more courageous than I am. So as I was patiently waiting for them to come run to me, scream how they don't want to ride it, they didn't. And as they were boarding this ride, my little sister was sitting there, like Haley and Macy were scared to death. They didn't want to go up, but Dad and Mom made them. And Addie was just sitting there, the 7-year-old. She was like, can we go up yet? Like, seriously? Have you ever met a 7-year-old that is ready to go up high in the air and drop? No, but my little sister was. So at this time, my little sister was holding on to my mom's hand because my mom was terrified. And as they go up, you hear nothing, and she's just giggling and laughing because she's having the greatest time of her life. Seriously, a 7-year-old who isn't afraid of heights. And as they get to the top, I'm like scared for her because she's a little girl. And she's going to be scared to death falling down 265 feet. And when she got down, Haley and Macy looked like a deer in the headlights. They were terrified. They never wanted to go on that again. And Addie came up to me and she's like, that was so boring. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? She wasn't even like terrified or anything. She thought it was so boring that she wanted to go again. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. There's more rides to come. So the next ride we get to was the Banshee. And if you don't know what the Banshee is, it has a lot of loops. It goes really fast. It's a normal roller coaster ride. So she wanted to go on that. And I was like, fine, I'll go on this one. It doesn't go up that high, but there's flips. And I'm terrified of heights. But I was like, oh well, I'll just go on this one. So as we get to the Banshee, Addie rides with me. She sat beside me, holding my hand because I'm the baby here. Even though I'm 19 years old and I have to have a 7-year-old hold my hand. As we're going on this one, I was waiting for her to cry because there's flips and she's going to be scared. But as we get going, there's flips. She has her arms up in the air. She's having the time of her life. A 7-year-old having fun on roller coaster rides, can you believe it? Because I seriously can't. I'm still flabbergasted about it. And as we get off, she goes and tells my mom and dad, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Can I go do it again? Seriously? And I'm just like, rode it once and that was enough for me. So the next ride we go on to was this ride called the Diamondback. And it goes up straight in the air. It goes up 230 feet, I believe. And I was like, oh, she's not going to like this one. Because you're not like buckled in as well as other rides and it's kind of scary. So I was like, okay, I'll ride this one. And Addie was like, don't worry, Katie, I'll hold your hand. Isn't that sad a 7-year-old has to hold a 19-year-old's hand just because they're scared? Oh man, my sister did. So when we got up to the front of the line, of course we got put in the front row seats. How lucky was I? Very. So as we're going up, of course the first hill is this huge hill. And I was like, oh great. So I'm clenching onto the handlebars, clenching onto Addie's hand. I'm terrified for my life. And Addie's just screaming, laughing, having fun, putting her arms up in the air, has no care in the world. And I'm like, where is she getting this from? It's not from me. So as we're going down this first hill, it goes at 80 miles per hour. And that is super fast. Oh goodness, it is fast. And Addie's just laughing, and I'm just like trying not to cry because I'm terrified. So we get off that ride, and we're like, okay, we want to test Addie's courage. So we take her to the slingshot. And if anyone doesn't know what this is, it's literally what it sounds like, a slingshot. It takes you from down in the air all the way up, and it is worse than the drop tower. So my dad was like, I'll ride it. And he asked for volunteers to go on it, and guess who wanted to go on it? Addie. So I'm terrified for her. Of course she wants to do it because she has no fear at all. So she gets on this ride, and she's just like, woo, I'm having so much fun. And my dad was like even scared a little bit. As they got buckled in, I heard Addie screaming. And they launched her, and she's screaming, and I'm scared for her, and I don't know what's going on. Is she scared? Is she, like, loose? What's happening? So after about 5 minutes, she gets off, and she's like, that was the funnest ride ever. I'm like, seriously? Where do you get this from? I wish I was that fearless. I'm just like, I'm scared of everything. Goodness, that girl. But as you know, the end of the day came, and we rode most rides, and she loved every single one. She thought some were boring. And I'm just like, wow, girl, where do you get this courage from? The moral of the story is never underestimate a 7-year-old because they can and will prove you what they're made of. And riding roller coasters does not eliminate fear. I still, to this day, am terrified of roller coaster rides. Thank you.